Hello, just Gem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. It's a case of better late than never with this palette. The palette in question being the Nomad Cosmetics Wild Atlantic Way. So that's the outer packaging there, it's very pretty. And then, I mean, you'll have seen this before, but just for anyone who hasn't, that's the outer packaging. Well, not the outer packaging, that's the carton, that's the lid outside. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. So I did a poll, what feels like a lifetime ago now, and this came in second. And my intention had been to film with this and to have it up before Nomad had it as their 50% off deal. And I did film with it, I think on that Friday, on the Black Friday, but I think there's just too much reference to sort of Black Friday and everything in it. I guess I could just edit that and upload it, but I didn't want to. Plus, I learnt a few things from using this the first time. I'm going to implement them today just to see if it changes the initial views that I had of the palette at all. And what I'm going to do is, I think, so the original footage doesn't go completely to waste, is I'll just kind of maybe do a fast play of the two looks that I did, and maybe today I might just do one look using some of the shades that I haven't used yet, because I did one look on each eye the first time around. So yeah, I am going to do just the one look today. I'm going to focus on some of the shades that I haven't already used, and I will, the swatches I've got, because I'm lazy, I'm not doing them again. I did do them originally, it's very different lighting, but I quite like it actually. Like, I've got it on my screen to the left of me over here, and I think it does do a good job of showing the swatches, and the shimmers especially look very nice. So those are the swatches that are going to be in the video. In fact, I'll show you them now so you can see them. So it's very, very bright, natural sunlight. I mean, considering I was in the Netherlands, bright sunlight like that at this time of the year is exceptionally rare, but I think it was really beautiful the way it's landed and the way it kind of shows off the shades. And I also think it shows how toppery some of them are. So this is why sometimes I think it's better to swatch shades before you do a look with them, because you get to see the textures, you get to see how they could potentially perform. But those are the swatches, and today, as I said, I'm going to use some of the shades that I didn't use before, and let's see how we get on. I apologise if I sound a bit nasal. I'd say I'm recovering from a cold, but it's as if the cold never landed, so I don't know if it's still coming, if it's still on the way, or if I've done what I need to do to kind of keep it at bay and this is as bad as it's going to get. I felt pretty awful on Friday, I'm not going to lie, and I feel much, much better now. I think I said that today I would start with Wild Rover, and I think I'm going to blow that out through the crease. And then while I'm here, I think I'm going to go in next with Blarney Stone, and I'm going to use that to deepen things up a little bit. And then the shimmers of choice today, Cliffs of how am I pronouncing that? Cliffs of Moher and Slan, I think it's going to be Slan. But yeah, it's those two shimmers in the corner there I think I'm going to use. There we go. So yesterday, I don't know why I do this, I look at this mirror, because that mirror's got a light, but it doesn't actually do very much for me. I can't see anything, so I should use this. Oh, that's a nice green, isn't it? Ooh, I like that. Wild Rover. I meant to film yesterday, and I should have filmed to kind of get on track and get on top of things, but quite frankly, I felt pants, and I didn't feel like filming. I felt it wasn't the kind of feeling rough where putting on some makeup would have cheered me up. I just felt worn out and had a bit of a headache, and my throat was a bit sore. It was just all of the things, really. So I decided that I was just going to sleep, basically, catch up on as much sleep as I could. So I'm loving this green, by the way. Wild Rover. This is beautiful. I love this shade. I think I woke up originally fairly early, and then I dozed off again, and then I woke up again maybe about 8 o'clock, and I was like, no, that's still not enough. Took a couple of paracetamol, did the obligatory play with the phone, scrolling through a bit of Instagram and whatnot. Tablets kicked in, and I was like, right, okay, round 2. Went back to sleep again, and then I'm trying to think what time it was when I eventually got up. I don't think it was super late even, to be honest. I just felt like I needed an extra almost 45 minutes just to potentially feel a bit human again. And I think generally being pretty lazy yesterday and sleeping as much as I did has definitely made the world of difference, and I feel much more like a human being again today. But yeah, that's Wild Rover, and this is a refer number 1, by the way, refer number 1. So I was going to deepen things up a bit with Blarney Stone, and I think where's my refer 14? I'm replacing that in the V. I don't know if that's deep enough, but I didn't want to use, is it Taint? I don't know. I should probably run these through Google so I know how I'm pronouncing them. But I used that originally, so I didn't want to use that again today. But I don't know if that's adding enough depth. It's deeper, but I don't know if it's adding enough depth. So maybe I will. Yeah, I think maybe I'll do that. I'll still use this, and maybe I'll go in with my 13 on Taint. Use it to deepen things up even more. Yeah, I think you can see the distinction there, but I think I want a hair more depth. Another reason why I'm keen to film with this and get it up is because I believe Nomad are actually going to be running more sales. It's not going to be obviously as big a discount as 50% off this particular palette, but I'll find the details. I'll put them on screen now because I can't remember them off head, but I think it might be 20 or 25% off site-wide, something like that. So if you missed out on the Black Friday deals that Nomad did, there's still time to pick up a few things at a discount if you would like. I love green eyeshadow. I really do. I should say, like, I love these. The mattes are performing like beautiful. I mean, I think you can see there. I'm just smudging this out a little bit just to get a bit of a blend. And now I am going to pick up my 13 and go into Taint. I don't think I've... And I'm butchering all these names. A lot of them are Irish. And... oh, you focused! Yay! So yeah, I'm going to go in with that just to deepen things up a little bit. And it will be interesting to see, actually. I think I said it before, some formulas prefer it when you go from dark to light, and other formulas work better when you go from light to dark. So it will be interesting to see. Yeah, see, that's packing on there. I can see that. Can you see that? Actually, I wonder if you could... I might switch one of these shades out. Like maybe like Connemara or Malinhead. I think I'd switch one of those out for a deeper brown and the other one out for like a really dark green, you know, like almost black type green. Because I think that would look really nice to add some depth if you were aiming for that. But yeah, that does lay on top. I was curious to see, but I can definitely see that. I still need to do a massive sort of deep clean of my house. My plan was to do it this weekend, but as I said, I was feeling like pants, and to be honest, I'd rather film than clean, so that's what I'm doing. So one of the things I found when I did the first two looks is that the shimmers in here are kind of dry and almost more toppery. So with that in mind, I am going to put on some NYX glitter primer. There it is, it's a bit reflective so you can't see it. Just to see if that helps with potential fallout and getting some opacity from the shimmers. Okay, so that's some NYX glitter primer laid down, and that's feeling pretty tacky. And I think I'll do Cliffs of Moher towards the outside. Cliffs of Moher is like that coppery shade. So let's try that. Yeah, I mean that's definitely more opaque than it would have been had I just gone straight in with a finger. That's nice. I mean, I think you can still see that it's got almost like a toppery texture to it, but the glitter primer has definitely helped to give it some grip. Tiny bit of fallout, but again, less than I would have had, I think, without the NYX glitter primer. Just trying to get the lids to look like they're related. Twins is the aim. Siblings is probably as close as I normally get, but today I think they're a bit more like cousins. Wiping that off, and then I'm going to flip it to the other side and use Slan. I think it's Slan. It's S-L-A-N, but the A's got an accent on it. If I've got any Irish followers, please do let me know. I'll say if I've got any Irish followers. I know one person who's definitely Irish, and I hope she's watching. You know who you are. Educate me. How am I pronouncing it? Oh, that's nice. How am I pronouncing these? That is... yeah. This NYX glitter primer has honestly made the world of difference. Still a dryness to it. Even as I'm applying, I can see it flaking up a little bit, but that sticky base has 100% elevated this. And I know these are shades that I haven't used yet, but it's the same formula, and I can tell that by the way I'm still getting a little bit of sort of flick up. I can see tiny little particles flicking up. Oh my word, this shade. That's nice. That is very, very nice. Under eye, under eye, under eye. I'm just going to do some concealer and then I'll come back and do my under eye. It'll probably be me running... is it Tainter? But the deepest green, it'll probably involve me running that underneath my eyes. But let me do my concealer and just tidy up the tiny little bit of fallout that I have got. As I say, minimised by the NYX glitter primer, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I've actually finished off my face. I went underneath, as I said I would, with... what did I use? Tint and smudged that out a little bit with Croag Patrick. I also used my Colourpop liner in Wild Idea. I don't know where I've put it, it's not in front of me. And for my inner corner highlight, I should say what this is. So I always go into my Tiger Hourglass palette and I use number 4, the metallic strobe powder in Divine Strobe Light. This shade in the corner here. It doesn't look like much, but really love it as my go-to inner corner highlight. Blush, I have used the Trigwell Cosmetics Burning Up blush, and that's what that looks like. And I have put on a little bit of highlighter. I've gone in quite light-handed. I'm getting quite good at just putting a little bit on. I think one of the reasons I was a bit scared of highlighter is because sometimes I'd accidentally go in. But I have used Soul Searcher and the shade Watch Your Mouth, which is the skinny shade on this side here. Mascara is the Rimmel Thrill Seeker as per usual. I have done baby wings, so baby that you probably can't even see them, with the Clinique Pretty Easy Liquid Eyelining Pen. And on my lips I've got the Taj and Blend Bunny collab 89 Fine Liner, made by Mitchell, rolling, like literally just dabbed in the centre. And then also dabbed in the centre is this Say Glossy Bounce in the shade Dip. In the corner here, I am playing the footage of the 2 eye looks that I did, one on each eye originally. And one of the things that I picked up when I did those 2 looks is that I really did need a NYX glitter primer. The shades are, they're very finely milled, and it's a very light shimmer in this palette. So you need a sticky base, I think, for them to have opacity on them. Otherwise they're quite sheer. But I mean, the minute I put on the NYX glitter primer, it was more solid colour, it was more impactful. I got far less fallout. I got the tiniest amount on this side, tiniest amount. Whereas when I did the original 2 looks, I think especially on, I can't remember which side now, but on one side in particular, I got a lot of fallout. And when I did a sort of a check-in at the end of the day, there was a lot that had kind of fallen off through like blinkage and my eye movement and things like that, and I don't think that would be as likely to happen now that I've used that NYX glitter primer. As I say, the opacity of the shades, I'm just looking in my mirror here, is much more intense, and I think what I want to do now is recreate those 2 looks that I did to give them almost like a fairer shot, now that I know that a NYX glitter primer is just gonna get rid of 99.9% of the fallout and just make the shimmers really pop. So take that, I mean, I like to see how shimmers perform when I don't use a glitter primer, just so I know. It's not that much of a big deal to have to take that extra step to put on some NYX glitter primer or anything else which is going to make a shimmer adhere to your lid, especially when this is the result that you're going to end up with, quite frankly. Have I got any other comments to make? Would I recommend this palette? Funnily enough, like, so when I filmed this originally, and I was just looking back at the footage, I don't think I was overly impressed, and I think it's because I was a bit disappointed in the way the shimmers performed, because they are that bit drier and they don't stick to your lid as well until you've used the primer. And I think my gripe was that even as a green lover, you can't help but think to yourself, maybe is that too much green? Is that too much green? But then if you think that's too much green, you wouldn't buy it, would you? You wouldn't. If you're not obsessed with green, this is probably not the palette for you. And as I think I've mentioned, I don't know if this is a bit I was going to chop out, but I'm going to say it again just in case. But you can get some neutral looks and you can get some other looks, you know, you do have a brown. I think I would, as I said, I'd prefer it if maybe something like Malin Head or Connemara, if they were replaced with like a much deeper brown, because this is very warm. I think I'd quite like a maybe one deep cool toned brown in here. I think that would probably round it out a bit more. I think, as I mentioned, possibly a dark green that almost looks black, just to add a bit more depth. But on the whole, I mean, this is probably a green lover's dream. On the flip side of that, if you love green, there's a good chance that you have a lot of these shades already, to be perfectly honest. This just means that they're in one handy location for you to grab. At 50% off, this would have been a steal. So I do apologise for not getting this up when this palette was 50% off, but definitely take advantage of the sales that Nomad are going to be running again shortly. If you're not a lover of green, perhaps this is not the palette for you. If you want something that's going to have a lot more versatility and a bit more variety, this is not the palette for you. I still don't rate the formula in here as much as I rate the stargazing formula. New Zealand stargazing for me has got the best formula in it, hands down. I don't know what kind of magical fairy dust they sprinkled into the pigments when they did that eyeshadow palette, but for me, so far of the Nomad palettes that I've tried, that is the creme de la creme of the formulas. Love that palette, love that colour story, love that formula. I enjoy this colour story as an avid green lover. Yes, I do enjoy it, but I can appreciate that it's a bit more restrictive. But it could be fun to sort of play around with the different blues and the different tones. And I want to play around a bit more with kind of mixing the blue shades that are in here with the greens in there. And I think maybe I will try and experiment and see what kind of more neutral look I could pull out. So anyone, I think, who's got a fairer skin tone than me, you could, for example, blow this shade out, maybe deepen it with this and go in with one of these shimmers if you wanted to do a look where you avoided the greens in here. So just to kind of demonstrate something that you could do. Is it my favourite Nomad palette? No. I think we've established that. At some point, once I've thoroughly tested all the Nomad palettes that I do own, I might do a ranking. I think it's probably going to be quite hard to top New Zealand stargazing, but we'll see. I've still yet to try Fuji 5 Lakes, Ghost Town, and the latest palette, which is Polar Express. So there's three more there that could topple New Zealand stargazing off that mantle. So we'll see how we go. I'm not sure. I think even when I picked this up, it was on sale. I think due to the monochromatic nature and the fact it's a little bit more limiting, but not as much as you would think. I don't think this is necessarily a palette I would pay full price for. But I think I bought it when, was it like not national, it was Earth Day or something. There was some kind of sale anyway, and that's when I had picked it up. Whereas and I picked it up at the same time as New Zealand stargazing actually. New Zealand stargazing I wouldn't hesitate to pay full price for if I had to. That's how much I love it. For me, I think this is something that I would wait for a sale. So yeah, if you can get it for 20%, 25%, 30% off, or 50% off if Nomad are generous enough to ever do that again, I'd say grab it. But full price, no, I don't think so. And this is just going to get filthy. I can already see, I mean, I love it, but I think I'm going to end up hating it because it's that felty packaging and I can already see, oh gosh, that's really grubby. God, I've only used it like 2-3 times. Look at the state of it. Yeah, that's going to get hammered. So if you're finicky about packaging getting dirty, that's something to bear in mind because that's probably going to end up getting filthy if you're using it a lot. I think I'll leave it there. So apologies it's a bit late. I mean, I don't know if a video before it being on sale at 50% off would have swayed you either way, but at least there is still a sale coming up. If this is helpful in any way, I hope it has been helpful. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch, and hopefully I'll see you again in a video in a not too distant future. Take care. Bye.